In the late hours of the 23rd of November 2025, Israeli airstrikes hit a residential apartment building in the Haret Hareik district, part of the Dahi southern suburbs of Beirut. The strikes targeted an apartment linked to Hezbollah operatives. Among those killed was Hezbollah's acting chief of staff, Haytham Ali Tabtabai, along with 4 other militants. Additionally, 28 individuals were wounded in the attack, many of them civilians. Hezbollah, which operates across the region, has long been a prominent and controversial force in the Middle East. The group has maintained a strong presence in Lebanon and Syria, and its operations frequently bring it into direct conflict with Israel. The strikes followed a pattern of Israeli military activity in Lebanon. Israeli airstrikes have targeted Hezbollah positions in the past, with both sides engaging in a tense, sometimes volatile back and forth. This most recent attack is part of a broader series of Israeli actions that have focused on curbing Hezbollah's operations, particularly in the aftermath of growing Iranian influence in the region. Hezbollah, backed by Iran, has been accused of using Lebanese soil to stage operations that threaten Israeli security. However, in the wake of this latest Israeli strike, Hezbollah's leadership has vowed a response. In a highly publicized televised address on the 28th of November 2025, Hezbollah's Secretary General Naim Qassem delivered a stark warning to Israel. The ceremony, which was dedicated to honoring the memory of the late Tabtabai, served as a platform for Qassem's fiery comments about the recent Israeli aggression. "We have the right to respond, and we will decide the timing of that response," Qassem stated. His words were a direct challenge to Israel, marking the latest in an ongoing exchange of hostilities between the two groups. Hezbollah has long held that its military actions against Israel are a form of resistance against Israeli occupation and aggression in Lebanon and Palestine. The strike on November 23 was a pivotal moment, drawing both domestic and international reactions. Hezbollah's reaction was swift and resolute, with Qassem condemning the strike as a blatant aggression and a heinous crime. He criticised the attack not only for killing Hezbollah personnel, but also for violating Lebanese sovereignty. Despite the violence, Qassem was resolute in asserting that the Israeli attack would not achieve its intended goal of weakening Hezbollah. "The operation's objective has not and will not be achieved," he said. Qassem's defiance should be viewed in the broader context of Hezbollah's military posture. Since its inception, Hezbollah has positioned itself as an Iranian-backed militant force with a stated objective of resisting Israeli actions in Lebanon and the broader Middle East. In the years since its formation, Hezbollah has evolved into a powerful regional actor with an array of military capabilities, including advanced missile systems and a vast network of tunnels running beneath Lebanon. Despite the deaths of senior Hezbollah commanders in Israeli strikes over the years, the group has repeatedly shown a remarkable capacity to rebound. Hezbollah's military arm remains one of the most formidable non-state military forces in the world, and it has increasingly been involved in regional conflicts, including in Syria, where it has provided significant support to the regime of Bashar al-Assad. The group's influence extends far beyond Lebanon's borders, and its ties to Iran remain a core component of its power. This relationship has drawn considerable ire from both Israel and its allies in the West, particularly the United States. Though Hezbollah's rhetoric is defiant, the timing and nature of its retaliation remain unclear. In his remarks, Qassem made it clear that Hezbollah will decide the timing of any response. This statement signals that while Hezbollah is committed to retaliation, it is not necessarily in a rush to escalate the situation immediately. This decision could be part of a broader strategy to wait for the optimal moment for a more impactful response. The Israeli military, meanwhile, has not indicated any intention to back down from its stance against Hezbollah. Israel's official line remains that it will continue its operations in Lebanon as part of its broader security objectives. The Israeli government views Hezbollah's growing power in the region as a direct threat, particularly in light of the group's close ties to Iran. Israel has expressed concerns over the increasing Iranian influence in Lebanon, where Hezbollah is seen as a proxy force for Tehran. With Hezbollah's growing missile capabilities, including advanced anti-ship missiles and drones, Israel is concerned that Hezbollah could significantly alter the balance of power in the region. Israel has historically acted aggressively to prevent Hezbollah from acquiring advanced weaponry, often launching airstrikes on suspected Hezbollah arms shipments or military facilities in Lebanon and Syria. In the wake of the November 23 strikes, the question on many observers' minds is whether the region is heading toward another full-scale conflict. For the time being, Hezbollah has emphasized that any retaliation will be carefully calculated. The group's leadership has made it clear that it is prepared to wait for the most advantageous moment rather than rushing into an immediate confrontation. Whether this strategy will lead to a protracted period of heightened tension or an all-out escalation remains to be seen. The international community has reacted to the strike and Hezbollah's subsequent vows of retaliation with concern. The Lebanese government condemned the attack, calling it a violation of Lebanon's sovereignty. Lebanese President Michel Aoun described the Israeli airstrike as a continuation of Israeli aggression against Lebanon and a breach of international law. While Hezbollah has claimed the right to retaliate, it has also insisted that its actions will remain confined to its resistance against Israel. At the same time, the United Nations has urged both sides to avoid further escalation. The UN has called for an immediate ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel to prevent a potential conflict that could spill over into a broader regional war. The situation is particularly precarious given the presence of Iranian forces in Syria and Iraq and the tensions between Israel and Iran over the nuclear issue. Hezbollah, as a key Iranian ally, plays a pivotal role in Iran's strategy in the Middle East. The role of external actors like Iran in the ongoing conflict between Hezbollah and Israel will undoubtedly influence the future course of events. In addition to the regional implications, the Israeli airstrikes and Hezbollah's vow of retaliation also have significant international economic consequences. The Middle East, particularly the Levant region, remains one of the world's most important geopolitical flashpoints. Any instability in the region can have far-reaching effects on global markets, particularly oil prices. Given the delicate balance of power in the Middle East and the strategic importance of the region to global energy supplies, further escalation between Hezbollah and Israel could have broad economic ramifications. Israel's response to Hezbollah's threats will also be a key factor in determining the trajectory of the situation. Israel has long held a policy of preemptive strikes against groups that it perceives as a threat to its security. Hezbollah's increasing capabilities, however, could present new challenges for Israel's military strategy. The nature of Hezbollah's response will also be crucial. While Hezbollah has expressed its right to retaliate, the group's decision on when and how to strike will have significant implications for the region's future stability. Hezbollah's role in the Middle East has evolved significantly since its founding in the early 1982. Initially conceived as a militant Shiite movement aimed at resisting Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon, Hezbollah has grown into a regional power with a vast network of allies and operatives throughout the region. Hezbollah has positioned itself as a staunch opponent of Western imperialism, particularly American influence in the Middle East, and it has forged strong ties with Iran, Syria and Iraq. The group's involvement in Syria, where it has fought alongside Bashar al-Assad's forces, has expanded its footprint in the region. While Hezbollah remains primarily focused on its struggle with Israel, its military operations in Syria and elsewhere have deepened its involvement in broader regional conflicts. Hezbollah's growing influence has not only shifted the balance of power in Lebanon, but has also contributed to the broader geopolitical dynamics in the Middle East. This strategic position, combined with its military capabilities, makes Hezbollah a significant player in the ongoing regional power struggles. Its ties to Iran are particularly important as Iran continues to assert its dominance over the region, using Hezbollah as one of its primary proxies. As Hezbollah faces continued pressure from Israel, its leadership has shown that it is prepared to play a long game. The decision to wait for the right time to retaliate, rather than immediately escalating the conflict, suggests that Hezbollah is not seeking to provoke an all-out war at this moment. However, as tensions rise, the situation remains highly volatile. the Israeli airstrike on the 23rd of November 2025 that killed Hezbollah's chief of staff, Haytham Ali Tabtabai, has set the stage for a new chapter in the long-standing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Hezbollah has vowed retaliation, but the timing and method of that response remain uncertain. While Hezbollah has emphasized its right to strike back, it has made it clear that it will decide when and how to act. As both sides brace for what comes next, the international community watches closely, hoping to avoid further escalation and a potential regional war. The coming days and weeks will likely reveal whether this conflict will remain contained or whether it will spiral into a larger and more dangerous confrontation. What is certain is that the fragile balance of power in the Middle East remains precarious, with the actions of both Israel and Hezbollah carrying significant implications for the region and the world.